So great to be back this week. Oh my goodness, what a whirlwind. I have to just let you know that I am coming back from Dallas. And in Dallas, I was at two different conferences. First conference was Lead Her Summit by Dr. Tiffany Moon. And then the second conference was Pediatric CEO Intensive with Dr. Katrina Skinner. And in 48 hours, I delivered 5 talks and 1 workout. And I was super proud of myself because I had so much energy for each one because the vibe was just incredible at these conferences. I was amongst so many inspiring individuals, inspiring women, and my cup is so full. And I also had the opportunity to go to Lead Her Summit with some of my best friends. So I went with Deanna and Christy, and I went with Kayla, and I went with Sonia, and I went with Kimmery, and I went with Erica, and we had Hope there. We had an awesome crew. I don't think I'm probably forgetting a million people, but then I met new people there, okay? And it was just so amazing. I had so much fun. Okay, so I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about this week, and I want to talk to you about embracing body acceptance, okay? And I think that I'm going to start with a story, of course. I think this comes up for us a lot. And one of the things that I help women with is this idea of maybe we actually are okay where we are right now. And maybe the work is realizing that this might be our most authentic version. And how do we actually accept and embrace that? And then for others, it may be that they don't feel like they're living in their authentic body. How can they love where they are right now and have compassion for where they are right now and also decide that they want to make some changes? So I always say you can be a masterpiece and also a work in progress. Okay, and that's what this is all about. It's about acknowledging that we are masterpieces. We really, really are. Now, I can say that, and you may be sitting out there thinking, yeah, but I'm not. But I'm not a masterpiece. You are a masterpiece, okay? Because, think about it this way. Masterpieces come in all shapes and sizes. All shapes and sizes. And so there is so much power in being able to be in a place where you do accept your body. Okay, so why don't we accept our bodies? Well, if you actually think about all the times in our life that our body maybe created a situation where people had words about it, or people had, I don't know, just not words, but maybe there's a million things, right? I was going to say that a lot of times body language could be insinuating something that we picked up on. Here is the deal, right? We have had a lot of experience with our body, and a lot of times those experiences shape how we view it. And if not all experiences were great, then we may not view it in a great light. We may actually be triggered by our own body based on past experience. Okay? So I have to tell you, and you know my story, right? I was overweight since the time I was about 8 years old. And it was around that time that people outwardly made comments about me being overweight, chubby, eating too much, chubby around the gills, people would say. Yeah, I mean, all these things. I wasn't going to get a date to the prom. So a lot of, negative body talk that came from external sources that I then internalized, okay? And I did look different than my friends. I was bigger than all my friends. And that was really hard. And so because of that, anytime, there's a fancy event that comes up, right? I can remember struggling to zip the prom dresses. One time, several of us got invited to do this fashion show, and the requirement was you had to be a size 12 or less. And I think at that point I was a size 12. And all of my friends were probably like 2s, right? We were 15-ish, we'll say. Size 12 isn't even a big size, right? But my friends were a size 2. And I can remember I was struggling to zip up the 12s, and my friends were like swimming in the 2s. That was really hard. So anytime I think about dress shopping, I get triggered even now, okay, years and years later. And I have to give a shout out to my buddy Stacy at Edith's in Philly, because she really revolutionized the way that I now shop. So she made me feel so good about myself that now I really enjoy and look forward to buying things for my body. Okay, now I'm in a very different body now, okay, because when I was 22 years old, I had a significant weight loss. And then I was able to keep the weight off and also then develop my musculature. So I'm in a completely different body composition than I was then. Here is the thing though. Before I started making positive associations with my body, even though I will tell you I am living in the most authentic version of my body right now, I still didn't feel great about shopping, because there was still a trigger that anytime I go to try clothes on, it might not zip. Okay? So if you are sitting out there shaking your head, feeling like that right now, I just want you to know that it's okay. For right now, if you don't feel like you're in your authentic body, that's fine. You still get to love on the body you're in. Buy it nice clothes now. Buy it comfortable pajamas now. Take some bubble baths with it now. Move it now. Feed it well now. Do all of the amazing things for your body, because you have one body. Your body can change forms, but it's still the same body. And what I always tell everyone, I say, listen, when you get to a point where you're no longer willing to trade your body, you have arrived. Now, here's what I want to tell you. It didn't take me until now to not want to trade my body. I made the decision to not want to trade my body when I was 55 pounds heavier, 60 pounds heavier even. I decided then that I didn't want to trade it. There were so many things about my body that I loved, and it was really just the external information I was receiving that was making me not like it. Okay, so I was so naturally strong, like beyond strong, well above average strong. Okay, now despite my size, I could actually run pretty fast. Despite my size, I could do anything. I had a very high cardiorespiratory ability. Okay, so I could do a lot of things with the size of my body. I never felt pain, really. I didn't get injured easily. Knock on wood now, but growing up, I never had a broken bone. My teeth, the dentist would say, were like rocks. There's a lot of good things about my body. I love my skin tone. I have like this really kind of unique skin tone. It's kind of this olive skin tone. Got it from my mom, and I love that. And I have green eyes. Got them from my dad and my mom, because, you know, you have to have a recessive gene to get the lighter eyes. Love that. I appreciate so many things about me that have nothing to do with my size. Okay, now I'd love to trade my hair. I'm kidding. My older daughter actually has my mother-in-law's hair, and it is fantastic. It is thick and wavy, and it is just fantastic. It's actually Mark's hair as well, so they have the same hair. And then Charlotte got my hair. My hair's fine, by the way. It's actually, you would look at it and think that it's absolutely fine. Anyways, I want to talk to you about something that came up recently. So I was doing a speaking event, and I had on a skirt with these like ankle boots, really cute skirt. Got it at Edith's with Stacy, super cute. And I have to tell you something else, okay? When I was growing up at about the age of 13, I developed pretty significant varicose veins, very genetic, okay? So I was 13 and had these massive cords in my right leg, kind of like somebody like after pregnancy. Again, I was heavier. So I think that did play an impact in the timing of when that popped out. Significant varicose veins. And I didn't show my legs, so I didn't wear shorts. And so now, so here's the beautiful thing. I mean, medicine's pretty amazing. When I was 21, I found a doctor that did a venous closure procedure. So I didn't have to get any vein stripping. All he did was basically close down my anterior saphenous vein. And then he gave sclerotherapy to any other veins that needed to basically kind of shrivel up. And I will tell you, I had that done when I was about 27, 28. I'm 44 now, and there's only kind of one little vein that's popped back out. One tiny little vein in my upper thigh. Amazing. And actually, I have a vein evaluation coming up in the next couple weeks to see if I need to have anything done with that. I now, at the age of 44, am wearing mini skirts. Okay, mini skirts. And so here's the thing. I appreciate so much that I can wear a mini skirt because I didn't have the confidence to wear one when I was 13, but I'm 44 now and I'm doing it. So if you're out there thinking like, it's too late for me, how I view myself, I haven't even reached my prime yet. I'm still working on reaching my prime. I haven't arrived yet. So when all of the others, I'd see these other, younger girls, age 21, and they had it all together. I mean, they were the ideal gift of beauty. And I didn't feel like that about myself, right? Because remember, I was having all this external talk about how I just wasn't right. And then, I had varicose veins, and I went through this one period where I had significant acne. Significant. And granted, I was in college. I was in a very stressful situation. I am going to get back to the mini skirt, by the way. I didn't forget about that. But this is all important. So I developed significant acne and actually had to take hormones to make it go away. And it went away, but people would ask me if I was concerned if my face was going to scar. I mean, this is how significant it was. So let's just put it this way. There weren't a lot of reasons for me to feel really good about my physical appearance. And yet I still didn't want to give my body away. So I think that that is just a gift. I think that is such a gift that I had. And I think a lot of it had to do with embracing what was really powerful about me. And that's why Alona Mar, the rugby player, resonates with me so much. So much, right? I just love, and again, she is gorgeous, absolutely stunning. Okay, everything about her. But I love the message she's putting out there. So that would have been super important if I had somebody like that when I was my age. So actually for my daughters, both of my daughters, I am like, you have to watch her. You have to watch her. She's incredible. She's amazing. And it's just, oh gosh, it's so refreshing. Back to mini skirt. So I had a speaking event, had a really cute skirt on, had ankle boots on, had a really tight shirt on. Now, if you've not met me before, I'm just going to be completely honest. I have a negative cup size. I don't have much breast tissue at all. And if you were to look at me, you might actually wonder if, it's to the level of there's nothing there, okay? I'm at peace with it. I actually love it. I love it a lot. It doesn't bother me. I'm just proud of it. I wasn't always proud of it. I was ashamed of it back in the day when everything else was wrong with me. So flat chest, acne, varicose veins, 60 pounds overweight. I wasn't feeling so great. Okay. And what I'll tell you is now you're really kind of embracing the body that I have, and really losing some weight for me was key because it allowed me to really see what my natural body, my most authentic body was supposed to look like. I have actually quite narrow hips. I'm not a small woman though. If you were to meet me, you wouldn't consider me small. So I have pretty broad shoulders. I'm pretty tall. So that's one of the things that people, when they meet me, they're really surprised. They say, you are way taller than I thought you would be. And I am. And I am lean. Yes, I am. I have a very flat chest. I have very narrow hips. I have pretty significant thighs. So I have, I have great muscles in my legs, but my legs aren't small. Okay. And I was giving this talk and it was great. And, we left for the day. And then later that night, I ran into one of the women that was in my talks. And she was lovely. I actually really enjoyed her. She was fantastic. And she actually said to me, she said, your legs are incredible. She goes, I couldn't stop looking at them. But why don't you have any boobs? Why don't you have any breasts? She said. And it was interesting, my reaction, because I felt like I had to explain to her. And it was the first time in a very long time that I felt I had to explain my body to someone. I haven't felt that way in a long time. And I have to be honest, at first, I just kind of went with it and I said, well, it might have something to do with my genetics and my body fat, okay? but this is just me. This is just me. Now, part of me wonders if she thought I may have had a mastectomy or something like that, because I am to that level of being that flat-chested. There's not anything there. So I understand maybe she was trying to, comfort me, because that's a possibility. She could have thought that. But what I really wanted her to know was that I'm okay. I love my body. But it was the first time that I had been challenged externally to my face on my body in, I would say, a couple of decades, a very long time. Okay, now that was interesting. I didn't know how to take it. So I sat with it. I explained to her, because again, I told you I had this interesting desire to explain my body to her. And don't we talk about that? We say you don't have to explain your body to anybody. It's none of their business. I didn't ask her about hers. Okay, so I sat with it. I got angry for a little bit. I was a little bit pissed. And it's because I felt like somebody kind of jumped over my boundary. But then it didn't take long for me to have a lot of compassion for that situation. And I'll tell you why. Number one, if she was able to ask me that about my body, it tells me how she kind of thinks about bodies. Okay, so she's probably analyzing bodies a good bit, right? So she's looking at bodies, analyzing bodies, and that's fine. So it's not so much about me and my flat chest, but maybe it was more about the person, right? So I had a lot of compassion, because what it made me realize is this is not about me. So I don't have to take this on. It's actually not up to me to explain my flat chest or even fix it. Okay, and I'm going to continue to wear my really tight shirts where you can clearly see that I'm very flat-chested, and I am super proud of that. I'm super proud of that. Now, I will tell you, it takes a lot explaining that to my daughters, because, they're getting to be the age where they are developing. And I don't want them to be developing thinking there's something wrong with them because their mom is so flat-chested. So not a lot of people think about it from this angle, right? So I've actually had conversations with them like, listen, this is me. This is how I was born. And I work out a lot. And so, based on, where your body stores adipose tissue, I just happen to not store a lot in the front area. I mean, I tend to store more in my lower body. And so I don't have a lot of fat stores there. And so they get it. And I say, and you're going to look probably very different than I do. And I really needed to say that to them, because I could already tell they were comparing themselves. Right, so going back to the compassion I had towards my new friend, I'll call her, because she was lovely, she really was. That wasn't about me. And I don't want my daughters to look at me and make me about them, if you know what I'm saying. So I think having the conversation is actually a beautiful gift. I think the woman, my new friend, asking me why I don't, I think she really wanted to know, because it's not the norm. And I think the win here was me feeling so proud that that was me. And the trigger that I had, feeling a little bit angry, was not a trigger now. That was an old trigger. It was an old trigger of having people externally judge my body and then telling me about it. Ooh, when I said that, I just felt that again. That was the trigger, okay? I'm actually not triggered about that comment with my body right now. I always tell people, I say, listen, I am blessed. When after we had our second daughter, I was still heavily doing CrossFit, and I was in pretty good shape, because I did lose, I gained 50 pounds with both pregnancies, but did lose that again. So in my lifetime, I've probably lost 50 pounds 3 times. I've lost 20 pounds many times. My point is, right now in my 40s, my almost mid 40s, I feel more confident about my body than ever, because it does so much for me. It does so much for me. And so it's interesting, because when I started to really go down the road of the acceptance, my emotional eating really improved. I think that emotional eating for me was about being very dissatisfied in my body. And so I would use food to comfort myself in that regard. And I notice that now I don't do that. Also, I do have people who make comments about my body, not so specifically with being flat-chested, but people will notice and say, oh my goodness, what do you do? I want to eat like you. And what I try to explain is that, listen, I have a particular body type. You have a particular body type, okay? There's no body type that's better than the other. We actually just have to work with what we've got. And there's pros and cons, right? So, ectomorphs, for example, they probably had an easier time staying leaner in their earlier part of their life, but now they have to really work on gaining muscle mass, okay? Mesomorphs, usually they kind of are pretty balanced out. As they get older, tend to gain more body fat. And then endomorphs, usually have been struggling with excess body fat for a while now. And so it's all about, helping them in a way that allows them to embrace that when you do have a higher body fat percentage, it's actually easier to gain muscle. So they have an advantage of gaining muscle mass. So as we age, that's really huge. Whereas for ectomorphs, naturally thin body types, it takes a lot longer to gain muscle mass. Okay, so there's all these different things. And the take home here is that part of what happens if you are on any kind of body journey right now, body dysmorphia is real. Okay, so really kind of having a particular body, then your body changes, but you still see your body the same way. That is a real thing. What I'd like to offer is, instead of judging your body from a visual, try evaluating your body from an internal. Ask your body how it feels. Okay, because when I was much heavier, while I knew that having the extra weight was a little bit harder, I still felt pretty good in my body. I felt really strong, okay? I felt a little uncomfortable with the amount of physical activity I was doing, but I felt really strong. Now I feel really strong, and I am not limited by anything excess I have to carry around. Okay, with that being said though, right, I have to make sure that I'm eating enough. I have to make sure that I'm doing all those things, right? Because when you become more metabolically healthy, okay, so my basal metabolic rate is higher. If I'm not meeting that need, then I'm at risk for losing muscle mass, and I'm older now, okay? So muscle mass, bone mass, these are all the things I'm thinking about now. So I want to put out there that think about how you feel. Use that to guide how you are finding body acceptance. Okay, let the visual also be important. I'm not here to say like you shouldn't like the way you look. No, you get to like the way you look. That's a beautiful human thing. We are all different though. Okay, and we all define beauty differently. So you get to show up as the beautiful you in a way that emphasizes your unique traits. You all have unique traits. And I bet you if I asked each and every one of you right now, what's something unique about your physical appearance that you actually really love? I think you'd be able to tell me something. Even if it's your nails, color of your hair, eyelashes. There's something. That's where I want you to start today. I want you to think about one part of your body that you would not trade. One part of your body, okay? Maybe it's your lips. Maybe it's your skin. So don't think about your body as just one. You get one body, but don't think of it like as one part. There's lots of parts to your body. And you get to honor each one of them separately. And I think that that's very powerful. Okay, because if I can say, it's funny, they have this one thing on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, where they'll say, what do you think you are on a scale of 1 to 10? And people say, I think I'm about a 7, right? Like, basically physical attractiveness. But I say, you know what? Celebrate all the parts of your body that you love. And don't feel bad. It's not bragging. I love that my eyes are green and my hair is brown. Okay? Dark hair, light eyes. I love that I have olive skin. Okay? My eyelashes aren't super long, but I'm trying to grow them with some of that growth serum. My lips, people think I have filler. I don't. So they're actually really full lips. I get that from my dad. And also, we have a trademark, so my maiden name is Remacus, and we have these trademark Remacus lips. Yeah, so my nieces and nephew, my niece and my nephew, my brother's kids have them. My girls have them, but it's this trademark Remacus lip situation, and it's pretty cool. What else? What else can I tell you? My shoulders, okay? My shoulders were commented on my entire life. In fact, one time in college, I was ordering food, and the gentleman making the food didn't look at my face, only looked at my chest and my shoulders, and said, hey, sir, what can I get for you? Thought I was a man? Okay, I love my shoulders. I really, really do. And that's, again, if you were to meet me, I'm not a small individual because you will see that I have shoulders. I love that I have a very flat chest. Yes, I get mammograms. I do. They can actually do a mammogram on me. They can do it. Okay? Now, granted, the read is like extra dense breast tissue, sure. But I can get mammograms, okay? Also, one of the things I have to tell you, breastfeeding didn't go well for me. I am actually one of those people that does not produce enough, right? I just don't have that tissue, enough of it. And that was really heartbreaking, especially as a pediatrician neonatologist. That's heartbreaking. And then I got over it. My kids are fine. They're great. They got a little bit. We did as much as we could. Okay, how about that? And then I love that I am 45 and I can still try a new sport. Still really athletic, pick up on sports easily. I like that I can walk for a really long time. I like that I'm willing to rest my body. I like that my body is a way that I regulate myself. So through movement, I emotionally regulate myself through my body. I love the hugs I give. I think I give really good hugs. I love the hugs that I receive. I think I allow myself to be hugged. I think I have really good body language when I want to. I think that I make people feel seen and heard based on my body language. I could go on, and I am telling you this because there was one point where I didn't know that I could like these things about me because my focus was on being overweight, my acne, my varicose veins. I also wore glasses that were too small for my face. Like there was a lot of things, okay? That's not useful to focus on that. To me, it was kind of my transition phase to figure out who I really wanted to be. And here's the deal. I love that person. I love the person that was 55 pounds heavier and had acne. She taught me so much. She taught me so much. And I don't take for granted, where I've gotten to today because I've had to work really hard to get here. And I don't take that for granted. So I also get to honor my desires, right? I honored that I felt my authentic body was different, but I wasn't running away from my current body. I just chose something different. And when I did that, it really allowed me to have much more emotional regulation, which really allowed me to end so much of my emotional eating, which in reality was, I would say, most of the issue that really caused me to put on a lot of additional weight. All right, my friends, I could talk about this forever. I love sharing with you. I love talking with you. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here. I want to let you know that we have some awesome programs. Just so you know, we have 3 programs that you can do completely on your own. We have 4 now. We have a beginner strength training program. You get 3 new workouts every single week at 3 different levels. It's amazing. I lead every single workout. That's called beginner strength. We have advanced strength. These are 20 and 30-minute workouts that I lead every single one throughout an entire year, 3 new workouts every single week. And then we have total fitness where you get all of that plus yoga, my core and floor program. It's incredible. Meditation series. We just had Dr. Ellen Cook create a whole new meditation series for our company. And then we have nutrition training program now. So this is an amazing training program. We will be announcing the next enrollment soon. 48 CME credits, and essentially I take you from start to finish on really understanding how to approach nutrition. And we talk a lot about mostly body composition, changing through nutrition. And it's really geared towards healthcare professionals. However, anybody can take it. And I'm not trying to replace dietitians. There is a huge bridge. There's a huge gap of nutrition knowledge as doctors. And our patients expect that we know it. And if food is medicine, then doctors need to understand some of nutrition. So that's why I've created this program. And with that being said, that'll be opening for enrollment at some time soon. The things we have going on today, right now, that are live coaching. So our optimal GLP-1 weight loss program. This is our year-long program where you work with me and 4 other board-certified obesity medicine doctors. You come on your own medication. We manage your exercise, your nutrition, your behavioral change, your coaching, your community. We do it all. It is incredible. That is enrolling right now through November 18th. If you are a woman physician, okay, or you just like to hang out with women physicians, either one, we have our Transform program that's open for early bonus enrollment. This is also a year-long program, 72 CME credits. The thing I want to tell you about our Transform program is that if you are on a GLP-1 agonist and you want to do Transform, you get the GLP-1 program included in that. And we also have a really nice Transform bonus program happening right now that will start you December 1st. Okay, so actually our bonus offers through December 1st right now for Transform is $5,000 in value, because you're getting 3 additional programs included with your Transform program. It's unbelievable. We've never offered anything like this. Okay, so we're gonna post the links in the episode. I appreciate you. I appreciate you being here, and we'll talk to you soon.